Okay, we're gonna try this again. Signal's not great today. It's rainy. My house isn't always good for it either. But let's just jump into it again, man. Life is short. There's a lot of things going on with me right now. Emotionally, I'm doing a lot to get my physical health back into order. Spiritually, there's a lot of stuff going on with me as well. I like sharing this. What's up, man? Let me know if you can hear me. It's been a little bit jank with the signal today. But I like sharing my journey with y'all as I do it. I had some real powerful spiritual revelations, in the past 24 hours. And, I'm just going to get kind of right into it here. I did yesterday what I believe, at least thus far, to be probably one of the most meaningful and difficult, important, not that everybody's tattoo isn't important, but you'll hear me out for a second, and just emotionally involved and like spiritually, just everything tattoo I've probably ever done in my career. Not even probably, like 100%. And that tattoo is, I did a tattoo of a little girl named Hannah. Little Hannah lost her battle with leukemia, at the age of 3 years old. Okay. For all you parents out there, and for even people that aren't parents, man, like that's fucking heavy. Like, I'm getting juicy eyed just talking about it. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I've been just warring spiritually inside of myself with all of these things that are going on in me and trying to figure out what is just making me feel this type of way. And yesterday was like the catalyst that really just set this fire inside of me that burned a whole bunch of stuff, that some old dead wood out that needed to get gone so that some new wood could grow. But whenever that happens, as the metaphor implies, burning away dead wood inside yourself is like really painful. And so the tattoo I did was a picture of little Hannah, as she was walking away. And so it was kind of like at a distance. We had some wings that we'd put on her too. And the whole rest of the tattoo, there was a couple of doves. We had, God's hands like reaching out of the clouds. And then little Hannah was like walking up like a staircase with like clouds around it and stuff like that up through the gates of heaven. When I was getting close to finishing, man, like Lacey came in and she started crying like almost instantly, and she's like, I don't know what that looks like when that really happens, but I imagine that that's about as close of an approximation as anybody's ever going to get to. And, I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, but I'm saying that because I poured myself into this tattoo, man. Like, I had people asking me at my work yesterday if I was even okay, because like, I'm the business owner, man. There's always something going on. I'm a family man. There's always something going on with the family. Nobody's family is perfect. I get that. And there's just a lot going on top of all of that for me. But I was just so emotionally committed. Like, this man fucking needs me here to do this job the best it can possibly be done. Like, to literally just take on this emotion that he's feeling, take on that like emotion of him wanting to memorialize his little girl, man. And like halfway through, like the first, like maybe like hour and a half of it, man, like I had to go into my break room and like I wouldn't say call it a fight, but I almost got into a fight with Lacey because I was just flipping out inside my head. I was like, what do I do, man? Everybody wants my attention. I'm freaking out. There's so much going on in my life. And this man needs my fucking attention right now. He needs me to care about this idea for him. And I'm an empath anyway, man. So I take on people's emotions. Like, I cry at a lot of things, man. Like, despite the fact that I probably look like a gangbanger, like, I'm a very highly emotional person, And in this moment here, like, I realized, like, I'm being way crazy right now. Like, I'm feeling some fucking powerful emotions and I don't know what to do about it. And so, like, I went back and forth with Lacey for a bit. Like, I feel this way. And she's like, well, why don't you try this? And I was like, I feel this way too. And she's like, why don't you try this? And I started getting irritated. And I was like, I don't want fucking solutions. And I, like, all at once, it like just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, dog, it's okay to tell everybody and to tell yourself that some of those things can wait. You know, I'm this like warrior type personality though, and I want to attack everything as soon as it comes up. I want to fix it. But what I had to realize is that there's some things in life that you need to set down so that you can be present for other shit. And I'll get into that here in a minute, man. But what I did is like, you know, I literally like, I just sat down for a few seconds and I started breathing. I went back into the room where we were tattooing after I'd eaten a little bit. And we put on some music that had some real motivational qualities to it. Billy Allsbrooks, I love his stuff. He's always got some really awesome tie-ins with my faith, and that's amazing to me. And I just put that music on, and I closed my drapes to my area, and I just tattooed him, and I just put every ounce of fucking energy I had into this, man. And like, I knew from like the beginning that like when we got done, there was going to be tears. You know, I knew it. Like, I can tell when people are like really emotionally invested in stuff, and like, I can't imagine, I don't ever want to, have to, or in any capacity, if I can ever help it, have to be in a position where like one of my kids dies, you know? And this man has gone through that, and he has another kid, and he still works his job, and he does all of the fucking things that a dad's supposed to do, man. And it occurred to me in this tattoo, in this process, that this dude probably has one of the best fucking perspectives on life that anybody I will ever fucking meet. And he didn't even have to say a word, just because I could tell he loved his daughter so much, and he missed her so fucking much. And what that told me is that his relationship with his wife and his other child, had to be just powerful. Like, it had to have this intensity to it that I hope to never be in a position where I have to look at it that way. And I found myself being so grateful for all of the struggles that I have with my kids, and the struggles with my baby's mother, and the struggles I have with raising my kids and figuring out who I am as a dad. And I just found myself so fucking grateful that when I got done with everything, I got to hug them. And like, when I was in the middle of freaking out, man, Kane, Lacey's son, was there at the shop with us. He's 4, man. And like, so he's just a year older than Hannah was when she passed on, man. And like, before I went back out there to tattoo Jason, man, I was like, hey, Kane, can I have a hug? And he doesn't ever just hug. And he just dropped what he was doing and came over and fucking wrapped his fucking little arms around me, man. And it was just like, it was like everything I fucking needed right then, man. It was everything I needed right there. It wasn't even my child. You know, I've known him for like 7 or 8 months now. But it was just like exactly what I fucking needed. And I just felt that love, and I felt the love for him and from him and between us with God and everything, man. And it was like, right then my priorities became so fucking clear that I just needed to be present for this guy, for this man who'd lost his child. Like, I fucking know her name. It's burned into my fucking memory for all of eternity. I tattooed a picture of this little girl on her father's back, you know? Man, like, when I got done, like, I've been doing these little thank you cards for people, and I prepared a little special thank you card. We're doing these little wax seals that has a crow on it lately, and I explained to him how important crows were to me and why they were, and because they not only teach things from generation to generation, and they're family-oriented animals, and they're just crazy smart, and like, on top of that, they actually mourn their dead too. And I told him how it had become even more important to me since Cassie had passed, and I made him this special little note where I wrote his little girl's name on it and put that little wax seal on it while I explained it to him. And like, he was just weeping the whole time. And I didn't know what to do other than that I just wanted to also pour my soul out to this man who poured his soul out to me and let me be a part of that grieving process and that healing process for him and his family. And, you know, I was juicy-eyed as hell by the time it was all said and done, and I gave him a big hug, and I said, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And he said, you don't understand how important this is to me. And I was like, you know, I probably don't, but I think to a degree I do, you know. And I just told him, it's okay, man, and I love you. If you ever need anything, you hit me up, man. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you and me are dudes now. You know, we're like that now. Because that's a level of trust that people will almost never fucking reach with their family. And a complete stranger trusted me that much to do something that important for them. Now, what I realized is that my integrity has become so important to me that it's displaying itself to people outwardly. And I realized too that, man, life is fucking short. I swear, I just remember being a teenage kid that was angsty and angry at my mother, and I started smoking weed. And now I'm 37. And I don't know where 22, 23 fucking years just went. But that's how much time has gone by. And here I am sitting in front of you looking like nothing I ever imagined myself to be, but everything I imagined myself to be. And it's just been a crazy ride, guys. But the real point of all this, man, is that like, and like, let me share one last thing. Like, literally, like, I was so emotionally invested into this tattoo that when I got done, like, I hugged him and I, took him up front, grabbed his jacket for him, and then I had him pay Abba, our front desk person. And I had to go into like our spare room and just weep. Like, I legitimately cried my fucking eyes out and like wept, like racking sobs and snot and everything, because I was so touched by this experience. I was so changed by it. And I realized that the feeling that I was having when I was freaking out about everybody needing my attention and everybody, is that I was putting my priorities in such the wrong fucking places in my life. It wasn't even funny. It's not that I didn't care about my kids. I don't care about my kids or my job or my coworkers or my significant other or my relationship with my mother or my relationship with God. I realized that I was giving too much of myself at all times to a million little things. I wasn't saying no to enough of them so I could be present for the right things. And I realized that even though I fucking work all the time, like, nobody can deny my fucking hustle. Nobody can. I know they can't, because I know who I am. But I realized that there's some other things I could be putting my energy into that would take less time away from me and my family and the shit that matters. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, man. I was sitting in church today and it was like straight up, like, Pastor Kevin started in with like, what type of legacy are you going to leave? And I was like, oh my God. He said, what are your family going to say about you when you die? And I'm like, I'd like to think that everybody is going to say a lot of cool things, man. I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that I display what matters to me without question. But I realized that because I've been so scared of having everything collapse, and it was so hard for me to address the feelings I was still having about Cassie's passing, that I've been working myself to fucking death. That I've been putting everybody else's needs, including the people who are getting tattooed by me, who deserve my attention, so far above my own that I have actually put myself into a corner spiritually and intellectually and on a family level, where like I felt obligated to put my work first. And I made some fucking important decisions that I am acting on today. And I'm going to thin my schedule out. And unfortunately, realistically speaking, we're going to have to push some people back a little bit. And if people want to volunteer for that, awesome. And if not, and they can't handle it, then, I'll take the financial hit. I need to be present for my fucking life, man. Nobody's ever going to be so pumped when I die to be like, man, he did 1 million fucking tattoos. I want them to say, man, Justin worked enough to provide for himself and everyone around him and build a legacy and an inheritance and everything he ever needed and everything his kids and grandkids and great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids needed. But more important than that was he put his energy into the things that mattered without ever fucking asking if he should or shouldn't. He just knew. He was always there. He sacrificed the short term for the long term for everyone around him. Those kinds of things put some shit into perspective, guys. Like, I know this sounds weird, but I don't even wish other tattooers to have to go through the experience of having that emotional just hold on you that you get, man. That emotional, like, it grabbed a hold of me and it felt like I had lost my own child. I was trying to just pour my attention and love and intention into that so often, so much. And then after that, you know, and I gave my full attention to my next client, but I ended up leaving the shop at like 10:30. Getting home at 11 and having really no actual time to spend with my child, who was gracious enough to sit in the shop with me in my bay and talk and chat with me and my clients the whole time. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not making my kid have to sit with me while I work. I'm going to spend time teaching my fucking kids. Being present. And I think all of us need to check this shit, man. And even if you do spend a lot of time with your family, with the people that matter, is it quality time? Is it just watching TV together? And if so, I mean, like, are you bonding while you're doing it? Or are you just watching a show together? I don't think it's important to be egotistical about the legacy that you want. What I think is important is to ask yourself, is the legacy that you want going to affect the people and impact the people that matter in the right ways? Because otherwise, if you impact the people that matter in the right ways, you can't go wrong. Fucking so what if the whole world doesn't remember me, man? If I impact my children and they impact the other people and vice versa, and they just keeps going and going and going, can you imagine how many people can really be touched? If it's 100 people that I impact in my life, and it's only 100, and I fully intend for that to be much more than that because it matters so much to me, but if it's only 100, and those people impact 10 people each, you're to 1,000, and then those people impact 10 more people each. Do you have any idea how quickly that gets to 1 million, 1 billion people? It's only through understanding that we have to put our fucking priorities in the right place that you're ever going to have these types of fucking interactions with people that have this fucking impact on you. And I don't wish, I mean, really, like, I do, but I don't. Like, I don't wish the fucking emotional drain that I experienced from that stuff, but it's not even a drain because I'm so much more ready to do what fucking matters today. You know, and if you ever watch this, Mia or Jason, man, and little Hannah, thank you watching, you know, over your parents up there, man. Thank you for fucking impacting their lives so thoroughly that it's impacted my life. Thank you. This is what this shit's about, guys. You know, the moments that take your breath away. When you have your breath taken away, it's not like a, that's so beautiful. Sometimes when you have your breath taken away, it feels like you got punched. But it's still a powerful and positive thing that impacts you afterwards. I just hope that everybody takes a second today. And this is my invite to you, because I always invite you guys to do something new in your life. What fucking matters to you the most? What do you say matters to you and to everyone else around you, and you put on a nice show with it, but you know you're falling short with it? In what way? How can you change that right fucking now? How can you bring that to God? How can you bring that to your very creator and say, please help me create the life with these individuals that matters? Because if you're honest, those are the things that matter the most. The individuals. It's not the people. It's not the fucking, I mean, it's not the experiences. It's not the property. It's not the everything else. It's the people that you have. And sometimes the greatest memory can just be sitting around joking with your kids, sitting in a room without a whole bunch of nice shit in it. Just because you're present. Joking with your family. It's short, guys. Take what you need to be doing. And live a life you can be proud of. Live a life that when the people around you pass on, that they can say, man, I don't think anything would be the same if I didn't know them. I love you all. I'm serious about that shit. Really take that to heart. Like, I fucking love you. And I hope you love everybody else too. There's no time for negativity, and there's no time for fucking worry or fear or doubt. Grab a hold of that shit and just own it. Love y'all.